All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So I was recently asked to cover these three stocks a little more frequently, and what I'm at least doing is mixing up the order, just kind of based on importance, for lack of words. And hey, you should clearly see why. And I'll be honest, I think this is going to be the most positive Turka video, TRKA, Torquia, whatever, that I've made in a few weeks, to say the least. So things are actually looking good. And I'll be honest, I think I'm going to start getting a little interested here if Monday does what Monday needs to do. I'll say it that way, right? So before we get into that, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how this thing is setting up short term. We do have our 5 moving averages. There are horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself. And then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment on this thing, share the thing anywhere on the internet. Honestly, anything you can do really does help with the YouTube algorithms. But for real, just being here and giving me your time, I do appreciate that. All right, so let's get into it. And again, I gotta say, this is probably the most bullish I've been on this thing for a while, but I still need a little bit more, okay? First and foremost, you know the rules, right? Bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. And this is actually the first time we've closed over the 8 since this day, since middle of April, actually. So we're coming into a month of just straight up under that green line, right? Again, I love these moving averages because of that, right? It really helps me like understand why we've been going down for so long, right? So again, today was a real nice break of the line. We actually do break my 19-cent resistance line as well, right? But end of the day, I don't care if we only do it once, right? I need confirmation. So I'm really expecting Monday. Honestly, I let me see what 50%. Yeah, I think the goal is basically, see, I wish I had more decimals, I'm telling you, but 21 cents. All right, I know it doesn't even sound like a lot, even, yeah, because 21 cents will even take you pretty much to the top of this. So 21, 22 cents, basically what it wicked today, that'd be cool. You know what I mean? But the one good thing I will say is this. I actually like the spacing between the 20 and the 100 because we can actually close right here on Monday, maybe even chill for a day on Tuesday, and then go up here on Wednesday. I don't necessarily need to break both on Monday, right? And maybe, hey, we go here Monday, here Tuesday, right? One line a day is way better than two together, right? And the way I see it, this thing's actually going to come down a little bit more on Monday, I'm assuming, right? I don't know the math behind the lines, right? But this thing has a downward slope, right? So I'm assuming it'll like bloop, come right here, right? So beat this thing, even take a little breather, and then go for the 100, right? But um, yeah, I'm definitely liking it. Look, I zoomed out a little too much, but we are seeing a nice little peak of the green over the red. Again, it's been a pretty long time since the MACD has even had a remote green over the red, like test, let alone actually happening, right? Still in the negative, but hey, I'm happy to see that. RSI does look good, and RSI is still low. There's maybe a shot we can run to 25 cents right here. All right. I know people don't want to talk about 25 cents. I don't know. I hope you guys aren't much higher in the you know what I'm saying, right? But yeah, I don't know if we're gonna run all the way to 31 just yet, right? There were way too many lines here to think about this thing, right? So I'm basically gonna take this thing one at a time, right? For now, give me that 21, 22 on Monday, give me that like 23 on Tuesday, and then maybe 25 on Wednesday. That slow and steady would be good. Honestly, if we do one rocket to 25, that actually might be better. And generally, I always say slow and steady, but like I know this one's a meme one. And hey, if this thing can actually destroy all 3 moving averages on Monday, I actually think that there's a shot to run to 30 on Tuesday. So yeah, one of these bad boys right here. Sorry, I try not to curse that much, but yeah, jumping these 3 might be good. Otherwise, I would really want to slow and steady, but I think the slow and steady might cap at around 25. So where's the weekly? This is an interesting weekly, all right? This is an interesting weekly. First off, let me just call this out, right? And I'm sure we'll see it on the daily if I zoom out a bit. This stock knows how to go up for weeks, right? Literally from January till March, like months, if you look at it, right? And over the 8 and over the 20 is good, I'm telling you, right? Unfortunately, we've just kind of been like dancing with it and a little bit under, but That's a decent doji, right? I think this is kind of, oh man, this is actually kind of, 22 is going to be a hard line to break. I'll be honest, because you do have two lines on the weekly right there. What are you? Yeah, 22, 23. Between 25 is going to be the, again, I think it's going to be the cap right here. That's what I said on the other side, and I think this does back it. But hey, again, a move from 20 to 25 is definitely a little more than a 20 burger, right? So that's a sexy move, to say the least. All right. So this one's first, HUBC coming in. So I'll be honest, all right? Okay, first off, I'm actually not the best with like social media and stuff. I can't believe how much this thing has grown with some like dumbass running the social, which is me, right? Like I got no idea what I'm doing and like SEO and shit. There are comments that sometimes I see on my phone that like when I come to YouTube to reply, I just can't find them. I don't know if they're deleted or what it was, but someone actually asked a question about HUBC running to 130. All right. First and foremost, you know I'm going to say it. Don't have 130 dreams on on a 60-cent stock, right? Like that's actually a little bit, that's basically 2x from where we're at now. The one thing I'll say, so when I click into here and when the box comes, if you look over, the 50 average, I think I clicked, I'm sorry. The 50 average is at 132. I like the fact that that 130 request was within the first three moving averages. Because look, I'm going to say, now we're going to kind of get into the analysis and I'll touch on that 130. This stock has, it's been a real hard time getting over the 8 and the 20. All right, 8 alone, right? And on the last video when I made it, I put this one in the front because this thing did a good little gap up, right? Like, I know there were a lot of reasons to be excited, but you can kind of see what happens the last few days, right? So, you know, I'm still way focused on the 8 and the 20, the first two lines. However, 130 is within the third line. And you know what? I'll take that. I'm at least willing to say, hey, 130 is not this like stupid, unrealistic number. And I don't want to use stupid because that sounds mean, right? But like, yeah, 130 is plausible. All right. The one thing I'd say though is 130 is kind of at a really juicy, interesting spot, and you really have to make tough decisions. And hey, you know I'm not here to give you financial advice, but like I'll hopefully be watching it as we go up to that, right? But this 50, if the 50 breaks, that could be some silly things. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not even here to talk about the 50 break, right? Right now, what we're really focusing on is this green line, all right? It's all about 66 cents. So we have gone over the line. We've stayed on the line. One of two things is going to happen on Monday. We're either drastically going to lose it and probably come to 60 cents or worse, or we're actually going to bounce. And man, the bounce actually could run to 87, all right? Because what am I seeing? This is an insignificant green candle. This is not something I'd call resistance. We're sitting right here. We're literally at the last resistance spot. We're at the top of this bad boy. I see nothing but red that actually says we might want to come to 113 if it can use the green line to go up. Right here, I wasn't 100% confident, but I talked about going from here to here, right? It unfortunately did this. Like, this is Monday's the last I don't think, look, doji, all right? I know this one looks a little fatter than the other ones, but that's essentially like, I don't think we're going to get another doji on Monday. I think we're either going to see the drastic down or drastic up, and for real, the up could be nasty. The down actually could be pretty rough too, because honestly, going from 67 cents to 60, losing 7 cents is pretty fat, actually. It's like a little bit more than 10%, right? So double-digit downs are not something I'm trying to hunt for, right? But the up could actually be pretty nasty, with obviously this 87 cents kind of being, maybe let's call it 85 because it's going to come down, I think, on Monday, but that's probably going to be the resistance. So, and again, even just going from like, let's call it 68 to 88, 80, wow, that was some hard dyslexic moment right there. From 68 to like 86, give or take, right? That's almost 20 cents, right? And 20 cents on a stock that only has a couple sets of 20, like that's a good percent. So HUBC, again, volume also is a big thing, right? Like this was the big volume pop. I talked about it kind of dropping, and it did, right? So hopefully we can get another pop like this, and I actually think it could be another little gap, or like I said, it's going to come down. I don't think we're going to get a fourth doji. I'll be watching this one all honesty, I'll probably be watching the two of these in the morning if I had to guess. I will not be watching MULN. I will tell you that, and I've been saying that for a few videos now, right? Listen to me. I a reverse split does nothing to the technicals, all right? It keeps the stock under the 8 and the 20, and it keeps the stock in all-time lows, all right? And like, end of the day, like a lot needs to happen, all right? And anyone that keeps saying that, hey, the MULN turnaround is going to happen tomorrow, hey, it's going to happen tomorrow, like they have no idea. Because again, when you look at the weekly, like we are in this black hole of an abyss. There is nothing. There is no set of anything I can click and be like, all right, I think this is the line, or I think this is the line. I think this is like, there's nothing I can click, right? Like, so, yeah, in my eyes, I'm telling you, and I know it sounds messed up, but like it is what I see. This thing's gonna just kind of keep going down. You know what I mean? It's just gonna keep going into that black hole vortex, all right? And yeah, once it gets over the 8, I'll start hunting the play to the 20. Because again, let's just look at this thing. It's been a real long time under the 8 alone. And that entire time, we've only really touched this thing about 4 or 5 times. You know what I'm saying? This thing being the 20 moving average, right? So like from here, from February 15th till, let's just call it May 15th, all right? That's been 1, 2, 3 full months. We've only touched this thing like 4 or 5 times, right? And you know I don't even count wicks, but I'm just going to count it since it's here, right? But MULN has a lot to do to recover. It's all going to start with getting over the 8, all right? I do see this little recovery here, and interestingly enough, I actually see that the MACD's coming up. I think these two are a little bit interesting, but look, end of the day, I always say 80% of the work is up here, and yeah, look, what I actually see is an 8 moving average that wants to go steeper down. You know what I mean? Like, it flattened out, it kind of went worse, and then it got even worse, right? Like, this slope right there is not as drastic as this new one that we just made, right? So I don't like that this wants to keep coming down, this wants to keep coming down, and this, like, as far as I know, we are going down until it decides to do something else. And at the end of the day, what I really care about is we need to find like sustainability, all right? Like, I'm just kind of zooming out to find some examples. Like, I actually wouldn't want one of these. Like, I know it sounds silly. Like, I'm kind of talking selfishly right now, right? But, like, I'm really, really hoping for more of a smoother curve up. Because I'll be honest, a couple other EV stocks are starting to do a little bit well, if I'm not mistaken. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, end of the day, it's just, in my book, it's all about the 8 and the 20, and we go from there. You know what I mean? So, hey, I appreciate your time. Thank you so, so much.